Hello traders, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to break down a powerful yet often misunderstood indicator, which is the ADX indicator. So if you've ever wondered how traders spot strong trends and avoid weak signals, the Average Directional Index, or ADX, is an indicator that you wouldn't want to miss out on. So by the end of this video, you'll have a solid understanding of how to use ADX to enhance your trading game and fine-tune your trading game to find the best settings for your style. Okay, all right, let's dive right in. So first, let's talk about what the ADX indicator does. Right, ADX is a trend strength indicator, meaning it doesn't tell you the direction of a trend. Instead, it tells you how strong the trend is. So if you are looking to ride trends and avoid choppy markets, then the ADX is one of the best indicators you can use. Okay, so here's how it works. Now you can see that the ADX is on a scale of 0 to 60, right? And then it has a 20 level and a 25 level. Now this is the default settings. Okay, you can see I just reset it here, and this is the default settings. Okay, we see that we have the 20 level, we have the 25 level. So anything above 20 typically gives a signal that a trend is forming. Okay, so now let us just look at a practical example. Right, we can see that the ADX lines, we are below 20 at this point, right? At this particular point, we can see that this line, this blue line, and this particular dotted line, we are below. But then, as they both cut above 20, indicating that a trend is starting, we can see that it happened somewhere around here, right? And this was just before the bullish trend began. So going ahead, we can see that the ADX was still moving somewhat along the 20 line around here. And then we had an upward move around here, all signifying that a bullish trend is starting. And then continuing, we saw at some point the ADX dropped below the 20. As you can see, there was a pullback, and then it eventually climbed above the 20 again, and then eventually caught above the 25, signaling a strong trend. And we can see that the bullish trend was indeed strong. Okay, so most traders consider an ADX value above 25 or 30 as a good sign that a strong trend is underway. And as we can see that when the 25 level was cut across, we can see that the bullish trend was indeed gathering momentum. And we can see that there was a strong bullish move, and going forward we can see how the price continued to move up. Okay, so an ADX value above 25 shows that the strong trend is underway, or rather the bullish trend is getting stronger. Okay, now the ADX measures trend strength, like I already said. And let us go to the settings. We will see that the ADX is actually made up of the plus DI line, which is this green line, and the minus DI line, which is this wheat colored line. Okay, now when it comes to settings, the default settings for the ADX indicator, as we can see, for the default settings, the period is set to 14. Now this is a solid setting for most situations, but if you are day trading, you might prefer a faster setting like the 8, or the 10. as it can give quicker signal. Let's just see how the 10 looks like. Remember that the lower the value here, the faster the indicator reacts to price changes. Okay, so let's see how the 10 period looks like. Can we see? The lower the value, the faster the indicator reacts to price changes. As we can see, you see how the 8 period looks like. Okay, so this is if you are day trading. On the other hand, if you are a long-term trader, setting the period to 20 might actually help you filter out the noise. Okay, if you're a long-term trader, setting the period to 20 might help you filter out the noise and focus on stronger trends. As we can see, that the higher the period, the longer time it takes for the ADX to respond to price changes. So this is fit for longer term traders. Okay, so when you are using shorter periods, the signals come faster. Okay, signals come faster, but you want to keep an eye out for more noise and potentially more false signals. The shorter the period used, the more the higher the tendency of false signals to emerge. The higher the period, the lower the tendency of false signals to emerge. Okay, and the lower the period, the more noise, the more price movements, the more indicator changes, the more responsive the indicator is to price changes. So you'll be seeing a lot of, let's just look at it. Let's look at it carefully. Compare how this 20 settings is, the 20 period settings, to this 8 period settings. Can we see a lot of noise? There's a lot of noise. So the indicator moves very fast when the period is small. That's the reason why it's fit for scalpers or day traders. That is smaller values. While long-term trader will prefer to use a higher period so that you can be able to focus more on longer term trades. So when you find the value of the indicator coming up above the 20, you can be sure to an extent. Yeah, because no indicator is false proof, it's foolproof rather. No indicator is foolproof. So to an extent, at least you can be sure that the trend is likely going to be strong because the period you are using is stronger, okay, compared to when you are using a smaller period like the 8. You see, like the 8 period, can we see a lot of movement above the 25, below the 25? You can see. So that is it. If you're a longer term trader, you prefer to use settings like the 20 period. As for a scalper, you can use something like the 8 period. A day trader can use somewhere between maybe 10 to 12 period, okay, for a day trader, right? Now, a few tips to keep in mind with the ADX is don't rely on the ADX alone. Remember, it's a strength indicator. So using it along with a directional indicator can really improve your results. Another thing for you to note is that you have to watch out for ADX peaks. So when the ADX line peaks and starts to fall, when ADX line peaks, let me just change the settings back to 20. Okay. So when the ADX line peaks and starts to fall, it can signal that the trend may be losing strength, even if the trend hasn't reversed yet. Okay. Like we can see, this is a very practical example. As the ADX line began to fall, in as much as the bullish trend was not yet reversing, but we can see that there was a consolidation right after that because the bulls lost momentum. Between here and here, there was a serious consolidation, and this is the 4-hour time frame. So we can see that when the ADX value peaks and begins to fall, if you are in a buy trade, even if you want to stay longer, it's advisable that you trail your stop loss just in case of if the trend reverses. So we can see that this was indicating that the bullish momentum was getting weak, and that resulted in a consolidation, okay, before the ADX now rose above the 25 again, and then the bullish trend resumed. Okay, so now it's important that you use the plus DI and minus DI lines as confirmation. So if the plus DI line is above the minus DI line, let us go back to the settings and we can see, let us change the colors of this plus DI and minus DI so we can easily spot them, Let's use something that will be easier. So now I change the plus DI to navy color and the minus DI to orange red. Okay, you can see. So the plus DI, this is the plus DI line, right? This is the plus DI line, and this is the minus DI line. So if the plus DI line is above the minus DI, and ADX, this one is the ADX. This is it purple or blue? This light sea green, this light sea green line, this is the ADX line. Okay, so when you have the plus DI above the minus DI and the ADX is above 25, you are looking for a potentially strong uptrend. As you can see, this was a strong uptrend, although there was a consolidation period within this zone. So let us just use the continuation of the uptrend as our example. So we can see we had the plus DI above the minus DI, and we had the ADX line just above the 25, and we can see that there was a significant bullish move, right? Okay, so now for a downtrend, the reverse will just be the case. You know, the plus DI minus, the plus DI below the minus DI, and then the ADX below the 20. Okay, so there you have it. The ADX is a nice indicator for spotting strong trends, especially when you are trying to decide whether to stay or to enter, whether to enter a trade or to stay out of a trade. Okay, but remember, getting the best ADX settings depends on your trading style. So experiment with different periods and find what works best for you. Okay, if you've learned something new today, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more trading tips and strategies. Thanks for watching and happy trading.